What's up, guys? Chris Schwartz-Edmisten here from Schwartz-Edmisten Web Design. In today's video, I'm talking with Henry Purchase from SEO Space. He is an SEO expert, and I am not, so it's really fun to be able to kind of get to sit back and just enjoy this conversation and learn from him along with you guys. So this is a really good video. He's bringing 5 tips on how to improve your Squarespace site's SEO.
Hi everyone, so yeah, I'm the founder of SEO Space. I made the SEO plugin for Squarespace. Essentially what SEO Space is, it's a Chrome extension that walks you through, I will be showing you later, so don't worry, that walks you through step by step how to rank a Squarespace web page higher up on Google. The reason we made it a Chrome extension, for any designers watching this, a Chrome extension essentially allows you to analyze any live web page, but also web pages on the Squarespace editor. So you can also use SEO Space on draft, password protected, essentially non-live web pages, which makes it easier for DIYs, designers to get a site SEO ready before launch.
That's super cool. I have been using it myself and it's amazing. It basically just like
Thank
scans
you.
the page and then creates a checklist for you and then you just like follow the checklist. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
it's a really cool plugin. And I actually I have a full video breakdown on my channel if people want to go check that out. Super awesome plugin. And so we have basically like 5 tips that we're going to be sharing with people today. So the first thing that we have is interview target customers for keyword research. And so can you talk a little bit about how you would go about that?
So essentially, one of the biggest things that I think keyword research is typically something that people struggle with when it comes to SEO. Keywords are essentially the search terms that your target customers search into Google in order to solve their problems and find your product or service, or maybe even your competitors. And
Hmm.
what I always really love to focus on, Chris, we can share this as a free resource after for anyone that wants to use it.
Oh, sweet.
Essentially, I will always, with a client or with my site, I'll always fill out this buyer persona document, because as owner operators, as people that are running our own business, we often use our own lingo and we use our own terms that we're used to, but our target customers don't actually use at all. And the really important thing that I like from this is essentially this is just a worksheet that you can fill out to this demographic information of your target customers, um, behaviors, what are their online purchasing habits, etc. But this is the thing that I really want you to focus on. It's goals and challenges, i.e., you're writing down what are the goals and challenges that your target customers face. And essentially from there, you're able to take that research and you're able to then take it to your keyword research when you're finding search terms your target customers search through, in order to actually use data and research to inform your decisions. So, for example, I built SEO Space, the SEO plugin for Squarespace. However, without me thinking about, well, what are the challenges that people doing with a Squarespace website that may not even know what SEO is, without thinking about those, I'm unable to build that buyer journey. And I'm going to give you an example. So I eventually found this keyword, Squarespace website not showing up on Google. And I got that because when I did this analysis and found the challenges, for someone that doesn't even know what SEO is, they just know, right, my website's not showing up on Google,
Hmm.
which then gave me a starting point to use SEO Space's keyword research tools to eventually find this. Now, I am third. Squarespace is beating me in the slots 1 and 2, but we'll share
That
this as a
seems like
research.
it makes sense that they would.
Yeah. But yeah, this is the first tip that I'll give you guys, and it really, keyword research is the first step of SEO.
Sorry to
So
jump in here. So it doesn't even need to be like 1 or 2 words necessarily. It could be a whole sentence like that.
yeah, what I actually like to do, I always try and interview target customers as I do this. So I write down my ideas and I'll say, hey Chris, before finding out about SEO Space, what were some problems that you faced when it came to Squarespace SEO? And
Hmm.
I'll just jot down what Chris says, and I'll take like snippets of that, pull it into keyword research tools just as a starting point.
Hmm.
And then sometimes, yeah, you find, long search terms like that, which are
Gotcha.
usually much less competitive.
And in terms of that document that you were sharing, so that wouldn't be something that I would send to the client to fill out. We would like have an introduction call and I would be asking those questions on the call and I would be filling it out myself.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I would fill it out myself first, and then I'll offer current or target customers like a $10, $20 Starbucks gift voucher to jump on a 30-minute call. And then I'll ask them generic questions to fill it in and validate what I've already put.
And if I'm doing a website for my client, I would then be interviewing my client's target audience. So maybe my
So
client could like put me in touch with those people or something like that.
when I'm doing it with a client, I get the client to do the research
Okay.
because if the client doesn't ultimately, you often find when you're working with a client, if the client doesn't understand that the lingo that they use isn't what the target customers use,
Mm,
you're going to face roadblocks down the line. So I like to sort of address that up front,
okay.
and
Okay.
then they do the research, they do the work, they've got the customer relationships anyway. It helps with their understanding, and then you take that research and find the keywords.
So we have this document now with a bunch of good information, and I can pull keywords from it to do keyword research. Can I do the keyword research inside of SEO Space?
Yes. So this is SEO Space is made up of two areas. We've got the plugin, which shows up, as I mentioned, on any Squarespace site. That's what Chris mentioned earlier. This is what's going to give you the actual advice on a web page in order to improve the SEO. So we've got this dynamic traffic light checklist. For example, hey Henry, you need to compress these images. You click on the image, it takes you to the image and highlights what needs to be compressed. If you don't know how to fix that area of SEO, you hover over this and you watch a tutorial of me telling you how to fix that area. So that's like doing SEO.
Yeah.
But obviously, what we spoke about a lot and what Chris just asked about was about the actual strategy and doing research. And that's where the dashboard comes in. We've got the keyword research tool suite here, and it will say, hey, Henry, what's your goal for today? You can either analyze competitors, you have an idea or a niche and you want to find related keywords, or you can also get blog post ideas from here. So if we went here, typed in Squarespace SEO and search, we can get a ton of different keyword ideas and variations related to Squarespace SEO that people search in the US. So scrolling down here, Squarespace SEO service, Squarespace SEO help, etc., etc.
And then I would want to be structuring the copy of my page just sort of generally around those keywords, making sure they're kind of like sprinkled in throughout the page.
Yeah, exactly. So like
Okay.
let's say we wanted to go for Squarespace SEO service. We'd go over to our SEO service page. Now we've actually optimized this for Squarespace SEO agency, but let's
Hmm.
say we wanted to do it for Squarespace SEO service. You pick the page on your website that is best suited to rank for a keyword, or you want to rank for a keyword. You come to here, you add the keyword, scan, and that's where it's going to give you the suggestions.
Man,
So you don't have to be an SEO expert to do SEO anymore.
this is so cool. This is such a cool tool.
Thank you.
Okay, so I feel like that was a great overview of interviewing target customers for keyword research. And so the second tip is going to be look at what your KD limit is. Can you talk a little bit about what the KD limit is?
So KD essentially stands for keyword difficulty. It's essentially a score from 0 to 100 that indicates how difficult it would be to rank on page one for a particular keyword. So if you're new to keyword research or you've done it before, when you start doing it, you'll see that there's a list of loads of keywords. I'll show you an example in a second. And you're sort of sitting there thinking, well, which one do I pick? Because there's so
Mhm.
many different options. How do you actually know what you should go for? And that's why I recommend that you should always check what your KD limit is. And I'll show you exactly sort of what that means here. As you just saw, I just typed in Squarespace SEO and I got all these different keywords that are related to Squarespace SEO. So as you can see here, we've got 191 keywords that are related to Squarespace SEO. So you're sitting there thinking, well, what do I actually go for? You can see here we've got the keyword KD. So this is telling us the keyword difficulty for Squarespace SEO help is 26 out of 100. So relatively easy, but easy is relative because what I always recommend you do, you head over to competitor analysis. So this is where you can see any keyword that any website ranks for. So, for example, you could take SEO space. If we were a competitor of yours, you add it in here and you'll be able to see all the keywords that SEO space ranks for. You can also do this for your own site. So you can see, I've just done this for my own site. I recommend you do it for yours. And what you're going to want to look for is your KD limit. And essentially, the KD limit I've made it up. It's a phrase that I use. Your KD limit is basically what is the hardest keyword that you're actually able to rank on page one for. So page one is positions 1 to 10.
Mm-hmm.
So we filter it positions 1 to 10. And we just want to be looking for what is the hardest keyword that we've been able to rank for. In fact, we should be able to sort it here. So you can see that we've ranked position 9 for a, KD 91, so a pretty difficult one.
Yeah.
And you can see most of them are sort of in that range of maybe 50-ish to, yeah, they're sort of all below 50. There's a couple over, but we're just getting a general feeling here. So what this is telling us that we should be going for keywords sort of max difficulty, maybe 55 at a push. And by knowing your keyword difficulty limit, your KD limit, it essentially enables you to sort and filter the keywords you realistically have a chance of going for. Because if I went for, KD 90, yeah, okay, I have ranked for a 91, but it's only position 9, it's the bottom of page 1.
Mm-hmm.
However, position 4, 51, so realistically got a chance of ranking for another KD 51 keyword.
So 1 being easiest, 100 being hardest.
Yeah, exactly.
And so like generally, ranking for like SEO agency would be like a 100, but maybe like SEO agency in the city that you're in would be, more feasible.
Exactly. If something's too difficult, as Chris said, you typically want to niche down a bit more, go by your city, go by the niche that you're in, like I do Squarespace. So yeah, for sure.
Great tip. Okay, so next we have complete a keyword gap analysis. Find keywords competitors rank for that you don't. So it seems like it's a little bit similar to what we just looked at.
Yeah. What essentially, as Chris sort of said there, content gap analysis is finding the keywords that competitors rank for that you don't, which is essentially a gap. And that's what our blog post ideas functionality does automatically. So essentially, you're going to go in and you're going to tell SEO Space a little bit more about your business. So SEO Space is an SEO plugin for Squarespace that helps Squarespace users websites rank higher up on Google to attract clients. Your next step is add competitors. So I'm just going to pick like 3 random websites, like Squarespace themes, not a competitor, but all I'm going to do is just get these sites just for like the purpose of this video. Like SEO Space doesn't really have any competitors, but we'll just pick names that you guys probably know. So we'll get Squarespace themes, Big Cat Creative, and then we'll get Sam Crawford because I know that he blogs a lot.
Mm-hmm.
For you guys, what you would want to do is you want to get 3 competitors which you see ranking for similar keywords that you want to rank for. Ideally, you want them to be ahead of you because you want to find that gap. And when you press generate ideas, SEO Space is automatically going to find that gap, cluster those keywords, so group them in similar topics, and provide blog post suggestions in order to close that gap. So, for example, at SEO Space, we don't have any articles or anything about Squarespace templates, I don't think, Squarespace themes. So you can see it's giving us a blog title idea, how to use the best Squarespace template for your website.
Dang, that's super cool. I feel like I get bogged down in like the content creation side of things just because it's hard to come up with ideas. It's hard to write a blog post. Like those things are just hard to do. So this is even to have like the first step kind of like helped with
Yeah.
can give you at least some good momentum.
and it's not always going to be accurate, as you know, Chris. Like AI, it's not always accurate, and you can see here templates for 2022,
Yeah.
and we do always add a note, always double check AI. You can even
Hmm.
see here it's like the Big Cat quiz. Big Cat is the name of one of the websites. So yeah, not everything is 100% right here, but as Chris just said, sometimes that ideation and the research is the hardest part, and to get that starting point is really helpful. You could, of course, always, like if we get Sam's website, you could also always do it manually. So you could always just analyze a competitor, export all the keywords that they rank for, and analyze it yourself, pull it through ChatGPT. So yeah, that is a content gap analysis.
Awesome. And then finally, we have use EMDs, test websites to test strategies.
So for anyone watching this, Chris and I sort of purposely arranged this call. Well, I sort of purposely arranged this call to be after a trip that I've just gone to in Thailand. I went to Chiang Mai SEO, which is one of the best SEO conferences in the world, and I was learning from multi-7, 8, and even a couple of nine-figure SEO entrepreneurs. And something that they always kept on raising is this whole concept that if you're, let's say you're watching this and you want to offer SEO services, or you are, if you're not testing on your own website or testing on a test website, you're testing on your client site, which ultimately means that they're getting subpar results because you're sort of figuring it out as you go along.
Yeah.
Now, of course, not everyone watching this wants to offer SEO services, but I'll give you an example of a personal one that I'm doing just around testing because SEO is constantly changing. Anyone that's done SEO before knows that sometimes slapping keywords everywhere and doing certain things which SEO space tells you to do sometimes might make a site look a little bit ugly, a little bit text heavy. And you may not want to do that on your own website, which is why I recommend that you guys, if you've got the resources, do what I'm doing, which is creating test websites. Websites that have typically EMDs, which stand for exact match domains, in order to test things out. And I'll give you some examples. So, I'll give two examples. We have a client which actually sells UK property to international investors. And this is a test website that we have for them. We bought the domain manchesterpropertyinvestment.com. So it's an exact match domain. The domain matches the keyword that we want to rank for. It cost us maybe $60 when you consider the domain and the first month for the Squarespace subscription to get this up, plus my team's time. But this essentially allows us to do things and run tests that we wouldn't otherwise do on this client's website. And plus, because it's an exact match domain, those typically rank faster than a normal website because it's an exact match. It's a little bit of a hack that you can do. So always recommend from like if you can get an exact match domain. Let's say you're a website designer in London, get webdesignlondon.co.uk. That wouldn't be available. It's just an example. Create a one-page website, try different things out, and see where it goes. I'll give you
Hmm.
another example. We want to we want to rank for best Squarespace website designers or best Squarespace designers. You can see we're third. So we've got a web designer directory and we want to rank this higher up on Google. So what we did, we got the domain sqspwebdesigner.com, and we've matched the directory and we've put it on its own domain so that we can test things out here, not branded by SEO Space, but we can test things here that we probably wouldn't usually do on SEO Space's website. So if you want to sharpen up your SEO skills, if you want to ultimately, like, if you think about it, if you've got a profitable product or service, why would you just want to rank position one? Try and grab as many of those page one spots as possible.
Hmm.
This can be a great way to learn SEO, try things you wouldn't do on your own website, and hopefully grab a couple of spots on page one.
And so then if the website ends up ranking, the test website ends up ranking highly, then you can use those strategies on your own site to potentially boost your own site up the rankings. And once that happens, would you then cancel the subscription on the other
Keep
site
it,
or you just want to keep
keep
it
it.
there?
As long as it's getting leads, for example, for that client I showed you, the property investment one, they pay $100 a lead typically through Google Ads.
Hmm.
You know, if that can just get 10, 20, 30 leads a month, you know, that's a really good asset for me that I can rent to that client.
Gotcha.
Called rank and rent, the methodology. You
Yeah.
create a test website for your client, try different things out, and then you can rent it to the client if it does work. Obviously, you can't use their resources to build it. I've had to use my own R&D budget, but that's sort of the methodology of what those high level entrepreneurs do at the conference that I did,
Hmm.
that I went to. But obviously, that can be applied to any business, and I'm recommending web designers do it as well.
And why do you think the exact match domain ranks more highly? Does Google place any emphasis on that, or is it maybe due
So,
to something else?
from what I understand, well, brand search is really important in SEO. So if someone searches for Chris's website and Google sees that people are searching directly for Chris, Google assumes that Chris must be an authority. He's providing good products or services because, or he's trusted because people are searching for him.
Hmm.
Likewise for SEO space, there's like 1,000 people a month that search for SEO space. Google sees that, and it's like, well, SEO space must be good. When you get an exact match domain, your domain and like, yeah, your domain is an exact match to the search term. So you almost like get that like pretend brand authority and trust because people are searching the keyword that exactly matches the domain. A
Hmm.
really good example in the UK that I was looking at today, if you were like looking to do whiskey investment, these are all like sponsored, but then you go, you whiskeyinvestdirect.com,
Mm.
whiskeyinvestments.com. These sites were probably whiskey partners. These sites were probably all around, but you just may not have seen it. Same with wine investment, wine investment, wineinvestments.com. You can see the business name is called Cult Wines, but the domain is wineinvestment.com. So I also did it for like my brother as well, Shrewsbury. I built an exact match one page website for my brother. It ranks like position 2 and gets him a couple of leads a week.
Dang.
It just works. And it doesn't have to have a lot of backlinks either.
Man, that's awesome. And then let's go over the bonus tip of how to go about getting backlinks. How would
Sure.
you recommend going about that?
So when it comes to backlinks, I mean, just drawing the example that I just gave. So this is a site that I built for my brother's website.
Hmm.
Um, Backlinks are important. Backlinks are essentially links from other websites to yours, and they increase something called your domain authority. The higher your domain authority, the easier it is to rank for highly competitive keywords. That's why SEO space could go for keyword difficulty 50 to 60, and maybe your site can't because we've just got more backlinks. You know, we've spent a lot of time and money on this. Um, exact match domains are able to rank higher. You can see the DA, the domain authority for my brother's site, is 1 out of 100, really low, and it's ranking above a site with like 15. So you can rank without having a lot of backlinks.
Mm.
Having an exact match domain helps, but in general, you do want backlinks to be able to rank for highly competitive keywords. Um, to give you an example,
I like that Chat GPT is your home window.
oh yeah, it has to be. It has to be. Um, So, for example, I have SEO spaces on Squarespace's official extension marketplace. Because of that, we get to do some collabs with SEOs with Squarespace, like write articles on their site. And as you can see, this is a link from SEO space to Squarespace, from Squarespace to SEO space. So that is a backlink that helps us rank higher on Google. Now, what I recommend you guys do if you want to rank higher and you want to get backlinks, I recommend that you build almost like a wish list of 10 to 20 people that are in your niche. They're not competitors, but they're people that you can collaborate with to either collaborate on a piece of content, collaborate on a podcast, collaborate on something that allows you to share value between each of his audiences. that can turn into a piece of content that you can put on their website, you can put on your website as well, and link back to each other. So the easiest way to get backlinks to begin with, some people spend a lot of money on them. That isn't necessarily necessary for people getting started, but it's just doing collaborations where the backlink isn't the intention. You're not doing it to get a backlink. You're doing it to provide mutual value to each other's audiences. Create a great piece of content that maybe ranks well on search engines as well. And then ultimately, off the back end, has a link going in between to boost your domain authority and boost the likelihood that you can rank higher on Google.
That was unintentionally the perfect segue to mention that while this video is coming out on my channel, we do have a video that's going to be coming out on your channel where I'm going to be showing how you can create different headings. So like, let's say you have an H1 heading where for SEO purposes, you want to have your H1, which is generally like a really big heading. Let's say you want your H1 to appear like an H4. So that way the H1 heading isn't so big, it can appear smaller on the page. I have this CSS system that I'm putting together where you can use CSS to make headings, even though semantically they might be different heading tags, they can look like any of the other heading tags. So that video is going to be coming out on your channel, which I definitely encourage people to head over to your channel and check that out.
I get asked about this all the time, and I was just going to make a crappy joke. This is also my scheme so I can get a link from Chris's website. So talking of collabs, that'll be coming after. That'll be coming after.
Well, anyway, thank you so much for coming on. That was awesome. SEO is not my domain, so it's awesome to hear from an expert, and hopefully everyone gained a lot of value from this as well.
No, thank you, Chris, and I'm looking forward to the video that will be on my channel as well. Cheers, mate.
And that is it for this video. Huge thank you to Henry for joining and dropping all of that knowledge. As we mentioned a couple times throughout the video, I'm also going to be releasing a video that's on his channel right now. So head over and check that out if you want to learn a little bit of CSS and how you can use it to, in a roundabout way, improve your site's SEO. All right, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.